Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're here today with our first Cabral HouseCall of the weekend. This is episode 2647 of the show. You can head on over and see all the questions that came in for today at stephencabral.com/2647. If you're new to the show, every weekend we answer 10 to 12 questions on all things health, wellness, anti-aging, longevity, high performance, and so much more. And so what I like to do is just say, any questions you have, please always feel free to reach out. I'm here to help, but so is my team. And if you want same-day answers, submit those to cabralsupportgroup.com. That's a free private Facebook group, 22,000 members or more, probably like 24, 25,000 by the time you're listening to this, from around the world. And we have amazing coaches inside that group, such as Michelle and Daniel that can help you with those. But also, I don't mind answering them on the weekend. I want you to know that. I love answering your questions. I just want you to know there's about a 12-week wait until we read it live on the show, just because there's so many questions ahead of you. So that's all. So instead of hearing me speak all day about, which I do on my monologue on the Monday through Friday shows, I want to get to your questions. All right, so let's dive right into the show. The first one today is from Anonymous, and it says, "Hi, Doc. Asking for a 36-year-old male. He ran the Big Five last year. I'm not sure on the particulars of his results, but I know he has done the detox CBO. Chronic back pain, a reverse curve in his neck in chiropractic x-rays, chronic high blood pressure, healthy weight, exercises diligently, healthy whole food, plant-based diet, fairly decent sleep, regular corrective chiropractic care. We recently pieced together that he has systematic vein problems. Temporal arteritis, self-diagnosed, varicose veins, hemorrhoids, and he's got a, I don't know if that's pronounced correctly, but a Vericocele. I know what you're talking about, basically a cyst in the scrotum. What else would cause this, and how can we support his venous circulatory system? He's been dealing with this since a teenager. I don't know how to pronounce that exactly, but people can look it up. Varicocele, which, by the way, is benign, that little cyst or that twist blockage in the scrotum. But yes, it is. It is in some males. And the left vein temple pain came a couple of years ago as a result of excessive Wim Hoff breathing. Thanks so much. Okay. So I'm glad you put in that last line, because that's actually where I'm going with this. So there's, you ran the Big Five Equal Life Labs last year, which is amazing. There are people that are hard chargers, that are high performers, that are go, go, go. And I think one of the issues is that we can build up chronic stress and inflammation in the body, that we can actually tax our circulatory system, that inflammation and micro damages over time. And again, I don't know this individual, right? But it can lead to, even if you're doing a lot of healthy things, it can be unhealthy potentially over time. Over-exercising is one of those. Excess stress is one of those. I just worry that with hemorrhoids, arterial-based issues, temporal-based issues, I think the scrotum issue is actually a separate issue. I believe that this very well could be an issue with high stress. So I would run one lab if this individual hasn't run it in a bit, and it's called the Stress, Mood, and Metabolism Lab. I would look at the cortisol levels, testosterone levels, DHEA. A good integrative health practitioner can help you with this, or of course over at Equal Life. And then you may want to run the minerals and metals test to look at those electrolyte levels. Varicocele, yeah, that's the other thing. Again, circulatory. Oftentimes this is genetic, but it can be poor blood flow and circulation. If a person's a cyclist, but again, this came as a teenager, it usually does happen earlier in life. So there's typically No symptoms. It can impact sperm count, but doesn't usually. That would be, again, I'm not giving medical advice, so I have to give you my disclaimer. No medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, or diagnosis are given here on the podcast. All right. So what can I help with? I would look at the person's omega-3 levels. I would look at their inflammation levels, because we've got things going on that are also leading to hemorrhoids as well. So I think that there's a lot of inflammation, and I would find that root cause. All right. We've got another question from a different anonymous, and this one is, hi, Dr. Cabral. I wanted to ask you your thoughts around raspberry leaf tea to reduce painful period cramps. I have painful periods, and I've heard that raspberry leaf tea can help ease the pain. Do you have any studies that you can share regarding this? I'd like to get your insight on how it can reduce period pain. Thank you. Yeah, there are some studies on red raspberry leaf tea on helping with hormonal balance, menstrual cramps, and even lactation, potentially. So, is that what I use in my practice? The answer is no. I'm not against it in terms of trying to produce more breast milk for lactation for a baby, but I don't use it for painful period cramps. I'm not against it. So I believe it's relatively harmful or harmless for you to try. What I would look at is if you have painful period cramps, I would be looking at hormonal balance and overall inflammation. So I'd be looking at omega-6 to omega-3 levels and estrogen dominance. What does that mean? Well, it means that because of heavy metals, stress, gut issues, etc., you could be producing higher levels of cortisol, lower levels of progesterone, and very normal levels of estrogen, but end up with the potentially bloating or acne or cramping or weight gain, water retention during the last 7 days or so of your cycle, and painful menstruation as well. So that's what I would look at. I would run the stress, mood, and metabolism test, and if possible, I would run the inflammation test as well. That's what I would do. That's what I would start with, so we can rebalance the hormones. And if you can, run the whole big five to see if there are gut issues and other hormonal issues as well, or heavy metals, so we can begin to work on those. So that's absolutely where I would start. But I'm not against the red raspberry leaf tea. I just know that a deficiency in red raspberry leaf is not leading to the painful period cramps. Okay? Thank you for writing in. Kara's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. I'm an IHP2, and I have a friend who has a daughter who has suffered for over 2 years. I've not worked with them yet. However, I think this case needs more expertise. She frequently gets lockjaw and is also has osteomyelitis of the jaw, a jaw infection, scar tissue from 2 surgeries, jawbone deterioration. She's also a bit autoimmune. We've seen 4 different naturopaths, 15 different doctors, holistic and regular, mental health therapists, all kinds of different Western and Eastern types of doctors. It's really tough because everyone really doesn't know. They are doing myofunctional and oral postural work currently. She has gone from being very vibrant and happy to hurting and shy. Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from and absolutely do feel for you, your friend, and their daughter. So we have to look at a few things. There could have been, now I don't know this for sure, but there could have been some type of jaw bone deterioration or malfunction because of a predisposed genetic issue. There could be. And then once you start the jaw surgeries, then you build up the scar tissue. When you build up the scar tissue, things don't heal perfectly, and then it leads to inflammation in the mandibular part of the jaw, the trigeminal area of the neck and jaw, and what you're left with is then inflammation. And the inflammation, autoimmune separate, I want to talk about that in just a moment, but the inflammation then can be now leading to all sorts of pain in that area. So if that's the case, we need to work, topically is not the word, we need to work directly at that one area rather than holistically in the body, right? So if there is scar tissue, we need someone who is a great myofascial release manual massage therapist that can work specifically in that area to help break down slowly over time this scar tissue. At the same time, maybe some local acupuncture may be helpful as well. Maybe, right? So I would look at that. The next thing I would look at is saying, is there systemic inflammation that's causing greater pain in that jaw area as well? And if there is autoimmune, then the answer is most likely yes. It is not possible to have an autoimmune issue without inflammation, because by its very nature, autoimmune means your own immune system, self, attacking something: thyroid, joints, nervous system, hair, liver, scalp, etc., right? It's attacking something, and when your immune system attacks something, it creates inflammation. So I am looking topically, locally is a better, phrase for that, at the area directly, as well as systemically. What is the issue? Whenever there's autoimmune, I'm running the big 5 plus the bacterial and parasite stool test to see if there are gut issues, all right? So hopefully that helps. And of course, look at your inflammation levels with your omega-6s and omega-3s as well. Thank you for writing in. Wish you the best. You'll get there. Don't give up hope. That's all I can say is don't give up hope. There's no need yet. No need. She's too young. Keep going. You'll figure it out. Anna is up next. Hi, Doc. What are your thoughts on onions and garlic? I'm aware that they're not CBO approved, but if someone doesn't have any candida or bacterial overgrowth or any other digestive issues, do you think they should be avoided? According to Ayurveda, onion is tamasic. There's different etymologies of onion and how it's used in Ayurveda, but yes, we can talk about that. Makes people more irritable, agitated, and aggressive. Again, it's for whom, right? In nature, and garlic is more rajasic. And these are certain rasanas that you can use, certain practices that you can use, energy draining, disturb sleep, drain energy, etc. in nature. As per Ayurveda, both of these ingredients produce excessive heat in the body. However, these vegetables are highly recommended in naturopathy because of raw. Crushed garlic has the potent therapeutic benefits, and red onion, for example, has loads of antioxidants like quercetin. How often do you consume those foods? If you don't mind me asking, once a week or more regularly. Okay, yeah, happy to go into this. So, in Ayurveda, we look at things as sattvic, we look at the rasanas for rejuvenation, all sorts of different things. So there's a lot that goes into this. When Ayurveda gives these specific principles, it is more through the process of pure mind and pure body that yogis and Vedas, mainly yogis, would follow in their diet to reach a lighter, enlightened state. That does not mean that there are not massive health properties. The health properties of onion and garlic are very well reputed. There are thousands of studies on them. They're a big mainstay in the Mediterranean diet. They're powerful antioxidants. They contain plant-based polyphenols. Quercetin is absolutely a big part of onions as well. And garlic, as well as some onion, contains the molecule or nutrient allicin. And allicin is very powerful for the cardiovascular system, for cholesterol, healthy cholesterol, as well as healthy blood pressure. And even these things may help with blood glucose levels. So, yes, we don't use them on the CBO protocol, which helps rebalance the gut, but only because they're also prebiotics, right? So they feed the gut bacteria. But once your gut flora is balanced, then we can begin to incorporate them into the diet. At first, once a week. After that, twice a week. And then, to be honest with you, as often as you would like on a daily basis. They're that powerful. I see no reason, if you choose to, not to include onion and garlic in your daily diet as part of your spices. I really don't. Except, again, and I'm not giving you any medical treatment plans, especially garlic can work as a blood thinner. So you have to be careful that if you're on blood thinners, that you're not overdoing some of these as well, okay? Really powerful, great for the gut. I personally do not crush up raw garlic. I would do that if I was on the Parapro support protocol or parasite protocol, but I don't do that on a daily basis. My wife, though, will cook with onion and garlic probably 4 to 5 days a week. So if you're asking how often do I consume them, in a small amount, 4 to 5 days a week. All right, so hopefully that's helpful. Thank you for writing in. And that's why everything is nuanced, right? There's no all for one. Let's get to one more quick question. Lindsay says, I know you says, hello, Dr. Cabral. I know you will have an answer to this question. I have asked about 3 naturopaths, my midwife and pelvic floor therapist, and none have ever done this, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. I had a C-section last October and wanted to use proteolytic enzymes to work on the scar tissue in my body. Any issues you would see? Can I do it while breastfeeding? Recommended dose. Also, what would you use to strengthen or make more elastic the tissue in my uterus so that I may have less issues in that area if I want to have another baby via vaginal birth? Thank you for your insight. Okay, happy to help with this. No during breastfeeding, just because we err on the side of caution. Yes, overall, using proteolytic enzymes for scar tissue, especially internal, right, where it can work. It's magic. So I use proteolytic enzymes all the time. I'm a huge advocate of them. I typically would recommend them for most people if they've never used them before for somewhere between 6 and 12 weeks. 2 upon waking every morning. That's it. So literally you just drink them down with your daily fruit and vegetable blend or whatever you're doing for water. And that's how I would do it. And I would do that for anywhere between 6 and 12 weeks. Again, I'm not giving any medical advice, medical treatment plans, etc. That's what I would do. And then from any C-section scar tissue, you can actually work that with massage as well. And I would use castor oil, or I would use castor oil, to be honest with you. That's what I would use. And if it has a little vitamin E in there for antioxidant fortification, then great. That can be really helpful as well. Then there's other products that I'm not going to talk about here today that can help with the actual redness of the scar, but that alone, working internally and externally, will be fantastic. And then I don't know of anything that would make the tissue in the uterus more elastic. However, remember, a healthy body is healthy. A healthy body can't be sick. A healthy body is structurally strong. So what I recommend is that on a daily basis, you're using something like the Daily Foundational Protocol. Okay, you can find that at stephencabral.com/shop. It's the daily nutritional support, daily omega-3, the daily fruit and vegetable blend, and maybe a daily probiotic support. Okay, great. But then also you're doing strength training at least 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. You're doing boat poses, you're doing V poses, you're doing chops, you're doing things to help strengthen your core and midsection. All right? So it's kind of a quick overview. Happy to talk about more. You can absolutely work with one of our Equal Life coaches or find an integrative health practitioner, which would be amazing. And they can even go more detailed if you have any lab tests available as well. So hopefully this was helpful. I wish you all the best. Your new baby, I wish you all the best on as well. And so I appreciate you. Really appreciate the community. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Take care, everybody. Have an amazing day. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stephencabral.com/podcasts. That will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.